نخبركم إن شاء الله بدري عن طريق نفيس. بدري لا بكرة جمل. ها كيف سيصل من بروكلين صح؟
مسكين ها.
تفضل.
Brothers, whoever's asking questions, you guys have to post it inshallah ta'ala in the following format.
Hadith disciple format.
Inshallah, the hadith disciple format of.
You can put your name. If not, if you don't want your name here, that's fine. Put your initials. City, state, country, location. Inshallah.
The message is on the website.
Just type it to him. Type it to him.
Somebody put it on Facebook.
طيب Bismillah, let's get started. تفضل شيخ نوح.
ما أحكم إذا تزوج الرجل بنية الزواج بنية الزواج الصحيح يعني أن يعيش معها ولكن طلقها بنية أن تذهب مرة أخرى إلى زوجها.
فهمت. طيب فهمت سؤالك. Before we get started, here's the book that we were talking about downloading the other day called معالم في طريق طلب العلم. Sean? So now you can actually look at it. This book has been through a lot. As you can see, it's burnt. Some years back, I had a fire at the house I was staying in in Camden, New Jersey. And alhamdulillah, this was one of the books that survived the fire. It got wet and also a little crispy. It's a label on the cover of the book. It was there for a reason. Very long story, which I'm not going to get into right now. This is the old days, old mufti. Al-Muhim. This is like a piece of hadith disciple history right here. Alhamdulillah, I had to retrieve the book from my secret layer. My layer of books outside of New York City in another location. Hopefully you brothers can understand this and appreciate its meaningfulness. Brothers, if you get a chance to buy the book, Ma'alim fi Tariq Talab al-Ilm, Sheikh Abdul Aziz As-Sadhan. As we said, one of the best books of the modern era with regards to the do's, the don'ts, the adab, the ahkam, the fadail of seeking knowledge, giving da'wah, teaching, studying, traveling. A book that I feel every student of knowledge should have in his or her what? Library. Tayyib? Follow Sean, check it out, inshallah. Be careful, please. This is going to the museum one day, bidnillah. Hadith disciple
Any
museum.
pieces in his books, mashallah.
Allah guide you. Ameen. طيب. نقول هذا الرجل الآن كأنه يجمع بين حسنيين في آن واحد. يتخلص من هذه المرأة التي لم يكتب يعني له الالتئام أو الوئام يعني عرفت؟ لأنها لا تلائمه وهو لا يلائمها. لن يكتب له التوفيق حتى يعيش مع هذه المرأة بسبب من الأسباب. سبب خلقي ديني يتعلق بالولادة يتعلق بالجمال. المهم سبب ما. هو الآن الفائدة الأولى في حقه هو أنه يطلقها ويسرحها بإحسان. يتركها بمعروف. أو إن شئت عبرت به يتخلص. وهذه يعني عبارة صحيحة. ما الفائدة أنه ينفق عليها ويعيش معها ويقسم لها من الوقت والمبيت ولا يرغب فيها وليس بينهما أي وئام. فهمت هذا؟ سواء عبرت بالطلاق بالتصريح أو عبرت أنت بيتخلص. هذا المقصود. هذا إيش؟ المقصود. هذا أرجو لا يعني تفهموا المراد بهذه الكلمة يتخلص منها. فهمت هذا؟ فهذه الفائدة الأولى يتخلص منها يطلقها على ما شرعه الله تعالى. الفائدة الثانية بدون تواطؤ بينه وبين الأخ الأول. فهمت؟ هذا الشرط مهم غاية. بدون إيش؟ تواطؤ. أما لو كان تواطؤ فهو تحليل. فهمت هذا؟ لو أنه اتفق هو مع تحليل، لكن هو الأول لا يدري عن نيته في الطلاق. فهم سؤالك؟ أنا فهم سؤالك. هو يطلقها حتى يساعد هذا يرجع.
لكن ما تزوج بها.
فهم سؤالك في غاية الوضوح. هو تزوج بهذه المرأة بنية الزواج الشرعي الصحيح، سواء أنت قلت للدوام forever eternity، المهم لن يكون في نيته أي شيء يتعلق بالطلاق. فهمت هذا؟ لكن بعد الشهر بعد السنة ساءت الأوضاع بينهما، قلت لك سبب خلقي أنه لا يرضى بجسمها بجمالها، سبب خلقي يعني طول لسانها، هي بذيئة سبابة لعانة إلى آخره، كافرة النعم مثلا، المهم سبب من الأسباب. عرفت؟ فإنه يستفيد فائدتين. الفائدة الأولى يتخلص من هذه المرأة التي لا يرغب في المعيشة معها خلاص. والفائدة الثانية أنه يكون يساعد هذا الأخ له في الله تعالى، الذي يعرف هو أنه يندم على الفراق والنادم جدا، ويريد ويرغب لو تسنت له ولو يعني صارت له فرصة حتى يعود إليها، وإن شاء الله يصير الأمور خير من ما كانت. عرفت كيف؟ أنت معي في هذا بدون إيش؟ بدون أي اتفاق أي كلام، حتى بدون كلمات. فإن الفقهاء يقولون إن المعروف يقوم مقام المشروط. لو أن الأخ الأول عرف منه أنه على طرف وشك الطلاق، لو أن الأخ الذي هو زوج المرأة عرف أنه راغب، فإن هذا الشيء معروف بينهما، وهذه المعرفة تقوم مقام إيش؟ الاشتراط. هذه قاعدة مهمة عند أهل العلم، إن المعروف يقوم مقام المشروط. فهمت هذا؟ لكن بدون أي معرفة. هذا بعيد عن الأخ نفيس، بعيد. لا أتكلم معه، لا أرى أنا في مسجد وهو في ولاية أخرى، ليس بيننا أي علاقة، لكن سأطلقها حتى أنا الذي أعرف، أنا العلم عندي أنا أنه راغب فيها والنادم على ما فعل وأنه غيره وإلى آخره. فإن شاء الله أتخلص أصرها بتصريح وكذلك هو يعود. فهذا إن شاء الله ليس فيه أي شيء بإذن الله تعالى بهذا الشرط الذي ذكرت. أما إذا صار بينهما أي معرفة، أدنى تواصل، أدنى تواطؤ، فإنه لا شك ولا ريب يدخل في التحليل. هذا سؤالك ولا لا؟ والله تعالى أعلم. اتضح الجواب؟ بس مهم أنك الآن في مكانة يعني إمام للناس تركز على الشرط، لا يكفيهم يسمعوا مرة واحدة، لابد تكرر تكرير على إيش؟ عدم التواطؤ. فهمت هذا؟
التحليل هو زواج حرام، ولكن إذا تزوجوا
فاسد العقد.
نعم.
العقد فاسد.
إذا لم يكونوا على علم.
هذا الجهل، هذا عذر. العذر، لكن التحليل لا يكون إلا بعلم.
لا، لم يكونوا على علم.
البنت لا، كيف يعني يحلل له من أجل ماذا؟ لابد يعرف هذا الشيء، أنه يتزوج بامرأة قد طلقت، وأن هناك رجل زوج باق راغب في العودة إليها. لابد يتعلم هذه الأحكام الأساسية الضرورية. لو أنه تزوج يعني بكرا يختلف الحكم في الجهل، الرضاعة كذا، هذه لابد يتعلم هذه الأحكام، لأنه داخل صورة من هذه الصور. لكن لنفرض أنه على جهل، فإن شاء الله لا يصير أي إثم، وإن شاء الله يكون يعني أي لعن، وبإذن الله تعالى يصير العقد فاسد ويكون شبهة. مثلا قد يطلق عليه نكاح الشبهة، يصير فسخ مثلا، يصير فراق بينهما، لو صار أولاد يكونوا أولاد يعني شبهة، لأن العقد غير صحيح. الإثم شيء، اللعن شيء، لكن صحة العقد ولزوم العقد هذا لابد يتوفر فيه الشروط المعروفة. فهمت هذا؟ والله أعلم. معقول هذا؟ طيب تفضل نفيس.
First question from online. Brother Muhammad Abdullah from Columbus, Ohio. If a person falls into a sin that causes the curse of Allah, how would one remove the curse?
One shouldn't worry about the curse. Don't think about the curse. How do you know Allah has cursed you? The Prophet ﷺ says Allah will curse. That's in general. Every specific individual, you don't know. You know what? You don't know. Inna Allah la'an al-kafirin. Allah cursed the kafirin. How many kuffar entered into Islam? Bani Israel cursed. Are there not Jews who come to Islam? Yes or no? Without a doubt. Everybody understand this? So that's the general rule. We don't know what specific individual is cursed and who isn't cursed. You may do something and Allah may not curse you. Allah does what He wants to do, subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the ruling, the act, the general rule is that it's a reason behind someone being what? Cursed. So your job is, if you have enough attention, if you're awake and if your eyes are open to realize that the hadith says this and I could be cursed, and you're coming out of it, how do I get out of the curse? That in itself is a proof that bi-idhnillahi ta'ala, there's still a chance for you. And there's still what? A hope for you. Allah says, لا تقنطوا من رحمة الله. Don't despair from Allah's mercy. يا عباد الذين أسرفوا على أنفسهم. Allah says, not those who disobeyed me, those who made haram acts, الذين أسرفوا. إسراف. تجاوز الحد. الزنا, القتل, القمار, شرب المسكر, أخذ مال اليتيم. هذه كل الكبائر. ويكون صاحبها وفاعلها إيش؟ ملعونا. يكون إيش؟ ملعون بلا شك. عرفت? There are reasons behind someone being cursed. But Allah said, don't despair from Allah's what? For Allah's mercy. Everybody understand this? So therefore, that's the only thing that you need to worry about doing. Make tawbah, make istighfar, get your act together, have the necessary remorse for what you did, feel bad, have the resolve in your heart, the determination never to go back to it, and move forward. Am I cursed? Possibly. Keep asking Allah to forgive you. Every time you think about the word curse, the hadith, ask Allah to forgive you. Every time you think about what you did, you should shudder, you should shake, cringe and tingle. SubhanAllah. What if I died in that state? What if I am cursed? Keep what? Moving forward. Let that fear of the curse be your fuel that drives you for tawbah, istighfar, and amal salih. Abundant good deeds, sadaqah every day, Quran every day, extra salah every day, visiting the orphans, good deeds. Every time you think about what? That you could be, or maybe you were what? Cursed. It's just that simple. And don't fall into the snare of Satan. You're cursed, so what's the point of going back to the masjid? You're cursed, so what's the point of you even trying? Just forget it. You've done it over and over again. What's the point of trying to do the right thing? That's a snare. He traps you. What happens to the bear in the forest when he gets caught in that snare? The trappers get him, or he'll lose his what? His foot. And he's still going to what? Still going to die. He's going to bleed to death. So beware of the trap. Wallahu alam. Fadl Wais.
At the beginning of the lecture, you mentioned
No lecture tonight, Wais.
Class.
The book, John.
You mentioned the ulama, and you started with
Thank you.
With Umar radiallahu anhu,
Mhm.
and then you went to Usman. I'm just wondering how come Abu Bakr was not mentioned.
So, good question. We say they mention at Tirmidhi or others that which has been reported, that which has been traced back. This could have been the view of Abu Bakr. This could have been his madhab. But let's say hypothetically Tirmidhi didn't have an athar with the isnad, the chain that goes back to Abu Bakr. Abu Bakr was the judge. Abu Bakr was the khalifa. A man was brought to Abu Bakr and Abu Bakr said haram, so on and so forth. So if he doesn't have an athar going back to Abu Bakr, he's going to mention the people that he actually has a what? An athar going back to. A what? An actual athar going back to. Everybody understand this? We say all of them. We say that the brothers they said this in the class. I know Khalid said it specifically. I have it recorded. I have his signature. John specifically came up to me. Maybe you did too, but I didn't hear it from you. I didn't get it from you directly. So I just quote 3 from among more, regardless whether it's what they agreed on or not. Everybody understand this? We can only say things about the Sahaba with the what? The athar. What's the narration? It has been reported. One of the students of Umar, one of the early Muslims, one of the Tabi'een, heard Umar saying it on the minbar. And then that Tabi'i did what? He passed it on to his student, his friend, his brother. And then another person until it ended up in the book of Tirmidhi. You got it? You don't seem convinced.
No, Sheikh,
I just want to be clear though.
We were talking about the ulama,
Okay.
right? So, I mean, in my...
It's just that simple. It's not excluding Abu Bakr from the ulama.
Okay.
It's not excluding Abu Bakr from the ulama. No, he's the best of this ummah after Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's not excluding Abu Bakr from the ulama. But once again, he only has a what? He didn't have nothing from Abu Bakr. He didn't have it from Abu Bakr. So that doesn't mean that he's not from the ulama, but he doesn't have the what? The isnad, the effort that goes back to Abu Bakr. But let's say he had something that goes back to Umar. Everybody understand this? It's just that simple.
When I come next.
Why give any of them? Let's say he did mention Ali. Let's say he said Umar, Uthman, and Abdul and Ibn Umar, and he skipped Ali. He may not have a sanad that goes back to Ali. There's a hadith. You see what I'm saying? It's just that simple. Everybody feeling this? That's the reason why. Wallahu alam. Tafadhal.
Question from online. I believe the brothers from UK. Initial is J.I. Assalamu alaikum, Shaykh. May Allah bless you. With regards to viewing a sister's face for the purpose of marriage, what is your advice on how to approach this after getting to know her, or to request a picture, or should it be in person? Should it be one of the later things to do after checking her aqidah?
Clear. Tahir. Khair inshallah. Wa alaikum.
What is your view on marriage CVs? A lot of people request these type of things.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. May Allah bless you, Akhil Kareem, Ameen. And may Allah allow you to find a righteous, beautiful Muslimah, Ameen. Someone that's suitable and compatible for you, Ameen. Righteous and what? No, I didn't say pious. Beautiful. I said righteous and what? Beautiful. Inshallah. As Shaykh Uthaymeen rahimahullah mentioned, it's recommended for a man to marry a woman that's pleasing to his eyes. Helps him lower his gaze. Helps him what? Lower his gaze. Khair, inshallah. So, I would say, seeing the face of the sister, it all depends on how the sister dresses. If the sister wears the niqab and the gloves, or the burqa, or the veil, however, then that's one scenario. As far as if the sister does not wear hijab over her face, she doesn't wear the face veil, she doesn't cover her hands, then that's a whole different scenario. Everybody understand this? Adam? Khalina fi surah al-ula. Let's deal with the first scenario, which is that she actually is a niqabi, as they say. A niqabi. Alright, we got this? So, seeing the face of this sister, in my humble opinion, is something which is essentially, primarily important for me. And at the same time, it's also something that is important for a later discussion as well. It's like hot and cold. From one aspect, and I'm just saying this hypothetically, let's just leave me out of the picture. So hey, that's better. Hypothetically, a brother says, if the sister is not of a certain standard of appearance, I don't want to know what she's memorized. I don't want to know what she studied. I don't want to know her shaykh and her scholar. What's her aqidah? How many books she read? Aqidah, this, sunnahs. I don't want to know none of those things if she's not what? To my likings. Everybody understand this? Hypothetically speaking, why waste my time? And why waste what? Her time. And I know I'm not pleased with her physical appearance. And I'm not trying to be fake. I'm not trying to act like I have this level of piety. I live in the UK, Manchester, Luton, whatever. I live, 2017, I'm a revert to Islam. I have to have a wife that's pleasing to my eyes. I'm not living in the time of the Sahaba, living in a hut in the desert. Her deen is the most important thing to me. No, that's not how I was raised. That's not how I come up. That isn't the reality. That isn't the what? It's not the reality. She has to be pretty. She has to look good. She has to be nice. So if she isn't of the certain standard, whatever my standard is, I like tall women. She's too short. There's no further conversation. If she's less than 5'7", I don't want to sit down with her because I know I don't like women that are short. For example, it's a waste of time. So what? It's a total waste of time. Let alone hurting her feelings, Sheikh Ayman. Getting her connected. She likes you. She thinks you're the best thing since sliced bread. And you know in the back of your mind, it's like, she says I'm 5'3". The brother is 6'2". I don't marry a woman unless she's 5'7" and above. She's clearly 4 inches beneath your level of standard. Why have a continued sit down with her? Why talk with her? Why hurt her feelings in the end? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make what? It doesn't make sense. As far as if the height is not an issue to you, if you do not care about height, then that's tayyib. Alhamdulillah. It doesn't matter how tall you are. Everybody understand this? But if you know yourself, and this is something that we have to say, not trying to be funny, but it's a staple part of hadith disciple, you have to keep it real. No fakeness. Stop being fake. I'm not talking to the questioner, I'm saying in general, stop being fake. You know you're totally unattracted to short women. Why even go into the conversation with the sister? And you know that I'm not going to do it to anybody. I just want to see how it's going to work out. Or you say target practice. This is reality. Okay, when you have a daughter, it's going to come along somebody that's going to use your daughter for what? Target practice. Everybody understand this? He's going to sit down with her. How do I look? How do I sound? He's going to practice his lines, even though he has no intention of what? Marrying a sister. Because he knows any woman who isn't 5'8", 5'9", 5'10" is totally what? Unacceptable. As far as if the brother doesn't care about the height, then we have what waist? Total different situation. Everybody understand this? So you got to be real with yourself. What type of person are you? What are you looking for in a sister? What race are you marrying a sister from? Everybody understand this? It's very important. What age? The sister's 40 or the sister's 18. Everybody understand this? You know how you feel. You know what you like, what you don't like. Race, age, background, profession, general things which will save you heartache and save her heartache. Everybody understand this? Everybody got this? So from one aspect, one may say, you need to see the sister's face from the get-go. From the what? Get-go. From the get-go. And from another aspect, one may say, you don't need to see the sister's face until there's a general list of compatibility. Everybody understand this? The sister says, I want a brother who weighs between 180 and 200 pounds. Everybody understand this? You weigh 120. No need to ask to see her face. Everybody understand this? Everybody clear on this? Makes sense or not? The sister said, I need a brother who has a degree, at least an associate's degree. You never finished high school. There's no need to ask to see what? Sister's face. The sister says, I'm liberal. Even though I wear niqab, I'm still liberal. My household, we do this, we go here, kada wa kada. And the brother wants a religious niqabi sister, devoted. There's no point in you asking her what? See her face. It's a waste of time. Everybody understand this? So once there's general compatibility, and this is why on the Muslim matrimonial sites, this is very important, Sean. On the Muslim matrimonial sites, they make you fill out the order form in detail. And many people, what do? They do what? They click and they skip past it. They lie about it. He meets a sister, he has a live chat, send me your Skype, send me your WhatsApp, email me, this is my wali, this is my picture, and then it's problems what? Later on. And the sister said, I told you I did not want to be a co-wife. I told you that. But you clicked, oh, no problem. Everybody understand this? You wasted what? Time. So there should be general what? Compatibility. If you're flexible, that's fine. If you don't, not that rigid, that's also what? That's also fine. But there should be a general fit of the size. Once there's a general fit of the size, and inshallah you're really serious, it's not written in stone, but you're serious. You want to get married, she wants to get married, the wali, you talk to her, or let's keep it real, Malish, let's keep it real. Without the wali, in 2017, how many people, Yusuf, trading pictures without the wali, as we speak? A little or a lot? Without a doubt. Rather, the sisters, what's that picture? His profile is what? This is reality. The Facebook, on her Facebook page is what? Twitter, it's pictures. And the sister says, oh no, I cannot send you my picture. Indeed, I will not send you my picture because that's foolishness. Everybody understand this? But this sister has no pictures on social media. You haven't seen her. She's a true hijabi, a true niqabi, alhamdulillah. Everybody understand this? You've sat down, you've contacted her wakil or not. That's a different ruling, which we're going to talk about February 18th, inshallah. Is it permissible to talk to her before you get to know the wakil? Everybody understand this? So what's important is she wants to send you a picture. If you guys have the general compatibility, general, it's not written in stone, but the general compatibility, and then she says, would you like to see what I look like? Or he says, can I see what you look like, at least your face, at least your face and your hair and your hands in general? And she says, okay, no problem. Everybody understand that? Later on, after 2 meetings with the wali, or without the wali, you had a conversation. You talked to her on Skype. And let's not sit in this room and act like people don't do it. Everybody understand this? You had WhatsApp conversations. You contacted her on Facebook. You sent an invitation. She invited you. You chatted a little bit. Oh, Riyadh in the airport, mashallah. He's cute, mashallah. This and that. I think you look nice too, sister. I wasn't staring at you, but you know, when you went through the metal detector. Everybody understand this or not? Everybody got this or not? So therefore, it depends on the person. It depends on the situation. But in general, if you're rigid and strict, seeing the face should come what? Early on. If you're not that rigid, if you're not that strict, or what I mean by strict, I'm not talking about religious. I'm talking about compatibility, okay? If it's flexible, I can marry a sister from Guyana, from Pakistan, from this country. It really doesn't matter to me. As long as she's a good sister and she looks okay, I can look at her. In general, she doesn't have to be a beauty queen, but I can at least look at her. That's a different story later on. For her to uncover her face, her hands, her protected aura that she's guarding from minna or her mahram. Everybody understand this? So it has to depend on the what?
Person.
On the person. As far as a marriage CV, I mean, it's just like filling out a form. You know, if you don't fill the necessary basic qualifications, why waste time? Why what?
Waste time.
Why waste time? And that goes back to what I just said. If the sister has a rigid system, the brother has the CV, that's fine. I don't think anything's wrong with that. If the sister really isn't that serious, like, you know, with the conditions, and she needs to get married, she's 25 years of, she's going in her prime, let's have a sit down, let's see. Maybe Allah will put barakah in it. I don't like brothers who come from London, she says. But, she's from Birmingham. I don't like brothers who aren't from London. But she sits down with a brother from London, he's a good guy, he's a nice guy. He has good humor. Clean fingernails, smells good, nice shoes, he's a gentleman, he has some ilm. She's like, you know, it's okay. So it depends on how rigid your shurut are from what? Day one. What's important, the first principle that we've learned tonight, keep it real. Don't be a liar to yourself and don't be a liar to the sister. Number 2, do not waste your time nor waste what? Her time. Number 3, don't ever forget that this woman that you want to marry, and it's the beauty of Islam, subhanAllah, is that she's not just your wife, she's also your ukht, your sister. Would you like someone to do that to your sister? Would you like someone to break your daughter's heart, to play around with her feelings? Send me another picture. Oh yeah, send me a picture wearing this. Brothers, they do this, waliyadhu. Let me see what you look like. Huh? And he talks to her late at night, he keeps talking to her, keeps talking, he has no intention of what? At all. Wallahu a'lam. Don't steal my line, huh?
Brother Sadiq W. in Philly, Pennsylvania, what is an effective way to teach small children Tawheed?
Question says, what is an effective way of teaching small children Tawheed? It's very easy and very simple. The child's mind is pure, bi'idhnillah, if it has no outside interference. The child's cup is also empty, unlike grown-ups that have been taught Ash'ari Aqidah, Maturidi Aqidah, this Aqidah, that Aqidah, this Aqidah. They think this is the Aqidah of the Salaf when it actually isn't. Child's cup is what? Empty. Especially if the child is young. So teach the child based off of the fitrah. Son, look at your fingers. Look at your hands. Look in the mirror, son. See how your face looks? Who put you there? Who made your face like this? Who gave you these fingertips? Who allowed you to speak, son? Who created the sun? You point to the sun. At a young age, 2 years old, look at the sun. Point to it. Look at the sun. Look at the moon. Touch the trees. Look at the birds. And you tell them, Allah created these things. Even if he can't speak to you, but you speak to him. Allah made these things, son. Allah made the universe. 3 years old, 4 years old, he starts to understand more. You taught to tell him, say Allah. Allah Rabbi. You tell him how to say this. And you tell him, Allah is your creator. Allah is your ma'bood bil haqq. La ilaha illallah. Get him to say the statement all of the time. The kalima of Tawheed should be said in the house. La ilaha illallah all of the time. You start reading small basic books, which there are plenty of, walillahi alhamd. And I would say, from the best of these books, and it doesn't matter who cares or honestly, from the best of these books for children and Aqidah is the books of Dar as-Salam. You have a series of the stories of the prophets. And what better way to study and learn Aqidah except through the what? Story of the prophets. وَلَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا, Allah says, in every ummah we sent a what? A Rasul. أَنِ اعْبُدُ اللَّهَ وَاجْتَنِبُ الطَّاغُوتَ. To worship Allah and to avoid the Taghut. Why does Allah tell us about Nuh except for Tawheed? And also to obey the messenger and to avoid disobeying the messenger. Why does Allah tell us about Hud and Shu'aib and Musa and Harun and Isa, let alone Muhammad? For what reason? Why did Muhammad fight his people, leave his people, abandon his people, except for what? Tawheed. So this is how you enrich, and it's how you plant the seed in the heart of the child, through stories. And there's no accident why we have stories. Why do children, or today our law may be different, except for those who are practicing the old ways, the old school. Before you go to sleep, my mother, my grandmother, you have to read a what? Bedtime story. Sleep is not complete until it's a what? Bedtime story. Alhamdulillah. Masood says to me, Abby, where's the what? Bedtime story. Abby's tired. Abby had a headache. Abby's traveling. Abby has to read a what? Bedtime story. He can't go to sleep unless it's a what? A bedtime story. It's hikmah in a bedtime story. Your grandmother, who wasn't a Muslim, was a Christian or Hindu, she also read you what? Bedtime story. Something that has a moral in it. Something that's sweet. Something that is simple, easy to grasp, and you go to sleep thinking about it. And you may wake up thinking about it. So the best time to teach your children these stories of the prophets, how they struggled, how they fought, the tyrant, Fir'aun, they stole, they did this, is a bedtime story. Gather your children, put them in your lap, sit in the bed with them, cut off the lights, get your book light. Don't read with the lights on, get a book light. It makes it even more intimate. It's dark, the light is on the book. Abby's reading to us. What? Story of Nuh alayhi salam. The story of Ibrahim alayhi salam and the idols. Shirk and kufr. Everybody understand this? How Allah destroyed the mushrikeen and how Allah gave victory to the people of Tawheed. And also, the most important thing is it can't be theoretical, but it has to be practical. What is the purpose of Tawheed if you're going to lie? What's the purpose of your Tawheed if you're going to steal? What's the purpose of your Tawheed if you're going to be stingy? What's the purpose of Tawheed if you're not going to practice and implement? Everybody understand this? Many people, we get bewildered. Tawheed, 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 and that's it. The fruit of Tawheed is the action. Everybody understand this? That's the what? That's the fruit of the Tawheed. Is the amal salih. Is the akhlaq. That's the whole purpose. Allah is Sami'un Alim. But you don't behave like He's Sami'un Alim. Why do you affirm Allah's names and attributes? Allah fawqa al-arsh. He's above the throne. What does that mean in your daily life? Allah is above the throne. الَّذِي يَرَاكَ حِينَ تَقُومُ وَتَقَلُّبَكَ فِي السَّاجِدِينَ. He who sees you when you stand. He sees you from what? Above. Loftiness, respect for Allah. That's the fa'id of Tawheed. So that's my nasiha. As they get bigger, you give them more things. You give them bigger books. You get them to read their own books. Don't just allow me to have a bedtime story. Now you read the Dar as-Salam series. You read about the Sahaba, Fulan, and this companion, Mus'ab ibn Umair, and Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As, and Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan. You read about the battles, how they fought, and the Muslims who established this, they won here. You read about it now. You tell me, you read a story to me. You write a report. And then you start getting them in classes. Get them to memorize the Surah Thalatha. Everybody understand this? Get them to start reading those ayat about Tawheed. وَهَكَذَا. You nourish them and you raise them upon that. That's what I feel in brief is the best way. Allah was seeking the help and the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wallahu alam. That's an entire lecture, what? In and of itself. Wallahu alam. Fadl Sharif.
So what about if someone, like him and his wife is having problems, and he knows that, you have three, you only have three, like times to divorce your wife.
2 times, Sharif.
Sorry, 2 times.
We'll come back. Next question. He slipped up. I'll come back to you.
Brother from online, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Rashid from Philly, Pennsylvania. Is a person ever considered too old to seek knowledge?
No. Abadan. It's a horrible question. Never. وَاعْبُدْ رَبَّكَ حَتَّى يَأْتِيَكَ إيش؟ الْيَقِينَ. Worship your Lord until death comes to you. Everybody understand this? And what worship can it be without what? علم. فَاعْلَمْ أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. الاستغفار عمل ولا ايه ولا كيف؟ عمل. العلم قدم على ايه؟ على العمل. Allah said, fa'lam, know for sure. Then do what? Make istighfar. Istighfar is an action of the tongue, of the heart. Naam. So therefore, actions are, once again, a fruit of knowledge. Knowledge is the seed. Actions are the tree and the fruit. Everybody understand this? So if you have to worship Allah until death comes, then you have to constantly what? Seek ilm. It's never too old. You never know what Allah has given you. You may think you're too old, but Allah may have given you a good level of intelligence. He may have given you courage, a backbone. He may have given you the ability to do things that younger people can't do. Allah is merciful. And Allah bin Nasi, Ra'ufur Rahim. Allah is compassionate. He's kind. He's forbearing to his slaves. He takes youth away from you, but he gives you something else. Everybody understand this? You can't run, you can't move. Got a little arthritis, what? In your back, your knees, but your mind is sharper, your mind is swifter. You can understand something more, even though you can't memorize it as quickly. that? So you should always seek knowledge. And there's never an age not to seek knowledge. Obviously, of course, we're not going to run away from the reality that if you want to seek knowledge on a professional level, of course, there is a general time, just like sports. But there are people that won the Super Bowl that were old. MVP of the Super Bowl, led the league in passing, touchdown, completions, quarterback rating. And they were in their 30s in Canada, stocking what? Cans on a shelf. And then they came to the NFL and conquered it. But obviously these people are what? The minority. This person wasn't even drafted by the NFL. Now he's starting receiver in the Super Bowl. Everybody understand this? But he wasn't even what? Wasn't even drafted. Everybody understand this? All of those people, first round, second round, draft pick, this, that, Orange Bowl, Sugar Bowl, this and that. What are they doing on Sunday in 2 weeks? What are they going to be doing? Riyadh? They're going to be watching him run the post pattern. They're going to be watching him getting yards after the reception. They're going to be doing what? They're going to be watching him eating popcorn and drinking. They're going to be watching him. So it's not always based off of the surah. Everybody understand this, Khalid? It's not always based off of the what? I don't let me go any deeper. It's not always based off of statistics. But at the same time, most successful wide receivers, most successful NFL quarterbacks, they are bred at a what? Young age. Middle school, high school, college, right after college, into the NFL. Everybody understand this? Because your body, your youth, has an effect upon what you have the ability to learn. The elasticity of the mind, stringy, sticky. When you get older, it doesn't move as much. Your body, your knees, they can't move as quick as they used to do. Some things that you want to do, you just can't. Everybody understand this? And the same applies to knowledge. Knowledge is so much to memorize, so much to study, so much to learn. It takes years to master fiqh, years to master hadith, years to master Arabic, years to master and perfect the Quran. So when are you going to start? If you start later on, when you're old, you're tired, and not even the physical thing aspect. I have a wife now. I have kids, people that don't see Sheikh Mufti. They see Abi. In the house, it's what? It's Abi. I have the class, no, it's what? Abi. Bedtime story. Food. Play with us. Let us jump on your back. It's Abi time. So I want to read Fath al-Bari, but now my what? My kids want to have a sword fight in the house. So I have to do what with them? Have a sword fight. There's no more Fath al-Bari. But before I get married, before I have the kids, it's Fath al-Bari what? All day. Everybody understand this? So take advantage of your youth. That is important. However, it doesn't mean that if you're sincere, you work hard, you struggle, you seek Allah's help, you give us the necessary time, you can benefit even at an old what? At an old age. We've explained this before when he asked Imam Ahmed and others, إِلَى مَتَى يَطْلُبُ رَجُلُ الْإِلْمِ. He said, when should a man seek knowledge? He said what? Qadi Iyad, others, they said what? إِلَى أَن تُصَبَّ مِحْبَرَتَهُ عَلَى قَبْرِهِ. Until the ink pot is poured over his grave. That's it. No more ink dropping on his grave. He's dead. Khalas. Rahimahullah. That's when a person stops seeking what? Hadith. Wallahu ta'ala alam. I would advise you to read the biography of Imam Ibn Hazm. Rahimahullah. Wallahu alam. Fadl Sharif. 2 times or 3 times?
2 times.
Get the madhab together. Fadl.
So somebody's having a problem with his wife, but he doesn't want to divorce her. Can she go to her family's home without a divorce? Like just for they could like.
It's not necessarily haram. for her to go somewhere, for them to cool off, cool down. I need some time, but it shouldn't be anything formal. Whenever she feels better, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be finished, but whenever we can actually sit and talk, leave the house, go back to your husband. But right now, I'm furious. I'm infuriated. I'm enraged. Everybody understand this? Us sitting in this house is going to be a disaster. Either I'm going to divorce you, I'm going to beat you up, or something. I'm not saying this about me, but this is what? It's a reality. So you stay there for a little bit. Let me what? Stay here for some time. That's better than what? A talaq. But even better than that is for a man to control his anger, control his rage. And this is also a wisdom of staying in the house and working out the problems. Allah says, وَهْجُرُهُنَّ فِي الْمَضَاجِعِ. Don't sleep with them in the beds. In other words, we live in the same house. I come home, I don't talk to you. I'm not saying anything to you. I don't want to sit and eat with you. I don't want to talk. Don't ask me how my day was. You mind your business. I mind mine. Everybody understand this? You have this type of approach in the house. Lakum dinukum waliya din. It's harsh. So perhaps she'll figure out, what did I do to him? Or he'll figure out, what did I do to her? Everybody understand this? Instead of separating and leaving the house and having other people jump into your what? Your business. And filling her head with ideas. I told you he was no good. I told you he was bad. I told you he was this. I told you he was that. I told you not to marry from this race. I told you not to marry from this country. I told you that. So sometimes that's even better.
But Sheikh, if he divorces her that one time, right, and she goes to her family's house, is that incorrect?
The talaq, the iddah, is supposed to be spent in the household. The first question was about before the talaq. Cool enough. Just what?
Cool enough.
Cool enough. The iddah is supposed to be what?
In the house.
In the home. In the home. And if she's not in the home, who's she going to wear makeup for? And dress up for? And wear nice clothes for? And cook for? Everyone understand this? So the hikmah of the iddah is going to be lost if she goes to her what?
Family.
Let alone the envious, jealous, or not even envious and jealous, just people who are hasty. People that are what? Hasty. They're going to fill her head with what? Kalam. Why you should leave him. I told you not to marry him. See? You want to listen to me now? Her father says to her. Next thing you know, she doesn't want to go back. Or some people that go overseas, they say you can't take my daughter back until you pay another mahar. No doubt. Fadl Nafis. Keep her in the house. It's better for the deen, close to the sunnah. It's easier on your what? Akhaf ala al-jayb. Allah al-musta'an. Fadl.
Ruling on participating in interfaith exclamation point activities to build allies and bridges.
But alhamdulillah, a couple of my good friends, not just one, but a couple, they gave me some real good green tea tonight. Jazakumullahu khairan, Allah reward them well. It's nothing like good green tea, inshallah. The benefits of it, the wisdoms behind it, if it's properly prepared. Can't just give me tea, don't teach me how to use it either. You gotta teach me. Khair, inshallah. We've answered this question before, and that is the term interfaith is mujmal, extremely vague and inexplicit. What do you mean by interfaith? Do you mean that you have a debate, comparative religion debate? Do you mean if your neighbor is a Jew, a Hasidic Jew, they walk by you, they see that you're a Muslim, you're covered, you're wearing hijab, you wear a thobe and a beard, and they say, hello, how are you? Or they bring you some bread, some challah bread. Everybody understand this? As a gift. You're a new person on the block, this is a gift. They bring you something like this. Thank you very much. And the next day, you give them a traditional Muslim dish, if there's a such thing, quote unquote. You give them a traditional dish of the Muslims as a gift because they gave you a what? A gift. And you say, thank you very much. What do you mean by interfaith? Sitting down and discussing your religion may be right, and my religion may be wrong. Sitting down and saying, we're all children under one son. We're all the children of God. Abrahamic faiths. Abraham was the forefather to Islam, Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. So we're all really, similar. What do you mean by what? by interfaith. Once you explain what you mean by interfaith, then we explain what is and what isn't permissible. What is a virtue, what is mandatory, and which is a disaster and a calamity. Which is kufr, and which is tawheed. So you have to explain what interfaith is. And I'll tell you this, many people, they confuse the term and they mix it up. Some people, as soon as they hear the word interfaith, they start talking, he's with the mubtadi'. He's with the Christians, he's interfaith, Kada, we told you we want you. And that's not what he means by interfaith. What he means by interfaith is that there's a rabbi, there's a priest, and there's an imam. They all go down to City Hall to meet with the mayor. The mayor talks about building a school, building this, doing this. I call upon the leaders of all of the communities, religious leaders, ethnic leaders, etc., to work together to make a better Boonton, New Jersey, to make a better Queensboro. Nothing to do with faith. But these people, there is no doubt, they represent a large amount of what? People. Families, children, money, tax, donate. This is a reality. If that's what you mean by interfaith, that's a different story. Not to be hasty when you hear the term. But if you mean having a discussion and a debate, the Christian man comes in the masjid, he talks to the Muslim children, Hanafis, he talks to the Muslim youth, and then you talk to the Christian youth and you share dawah, it's a different story. It's a total what? Different story. And the same applies to alliances and building bridges. What do you mean by an alliance? Is a kafir an ally of a Muslim? What does Allah say in the Quran about that? That's the first question. And secondly, the term alliance is vague, bridge is vague. Me having a existing relationship with the mayor. Hello, how are you, sir? Good. Handshake, how you doing? This is our mosque. This is what we teach. This is some free literature. It's nothing funny. It's transparent. They know that you're there. Listen, if you have any problem at the mosque, not saying they're going to call the cops, but there are many Muslims who do call the cops. They have the cops protecting the masjid. Everybody has their own personal discretion. The cops, they say, any problem at the masjid, we'll be right there. You ever need security for an event, we'll do what? We'll be right there. And this is a reality. At the NJR, everybody understand these things? The concept of having an existing relationship with the people that you live with. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. They know you, you know them. Hello, how you doing? I don't agree with your deen. We respect each other as human beings. We respect each other as neighbors. I'm not living in Saudi Arabia. I'm living in New Jersey. I'm living in Philadelphia. This is Brooklyn, New York. They are in charge. They're the authority. There's a certain level of respect that has to be there. There's a certain level of acknowledgement. We're good people. There's nothing funny going on. Hello, how you doing, sir? Anytime you have any information, you can call me. I'm the imam of the masjid. Here's my card. Thank you. Have a great day. That's it. Some people call that interfaith, and other people call other things interfaith. So it depends on what it is. And also the alliances, the bridges. The bridge being, if there's an emergency, you can always contact the Muslims. There's an orphan, there's a fire. We need volunteer work to build this, to dig this thing. Something is wrong. Someone burnt down a house. There's an act of hate or whatever. The Muslims come and volunteer to pick up the rubble. If that's what you mean by a bridge, la ba'sa bihadha. And it's from the most beneficial means of giving da'wah. When they see the Muslims, they're not here the Muslims. The Muslims are strong men. All of the Muslim sisters, they came out and they donated cooked turkeys and cakes and pies and food to the orphanage and to the shelter. It's major dawah right there. They see the veils with food. It's dawah. So if that's what you mean by a bridge and an alliance, there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody understand this? There's nothing what? There's nothing wrong with that. As for other things, we're friends, we're buddies, we're all, peas in the same pod. La. No, it's incorrect. Wallahu alam. This will conclude our Q&A session tonight. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala surely knows best. Jazakumullahu khairan.
Inshallah, tomorrow Q&A?
We'll see, inshallah.
Yeah, a lot of questions.